Sure, we're live. Yes,
Yeah,
we
there we
are
go.
live. There we
We
are
are
live.
live.
So that's pretty cool. It's been so long since we've been live. You know what I
Yeah,
was gonna do last live stream? I was gonna try and live stream a trivia show that I did. I was kind of glad I didn't live stream it, but it would have been fun.
go on. What about?
Shrek. I've got all the questions. I could run through all. I could fucking plug my laptop in, put the questions up, like just like a trivia night. Do a trivia night online.
You could peel back the layers
My boss might get fucking yeah, exactly, like a cake.
like an onion.
What'll make you feel better?
Oh no, not another box of dogs!
It's another box of dogs!
Stop drinking liberal piss water.
Woof, woof.
There we go.
And here's my liberal piss water right here.
Here's my liberal piss water right here. I don't know. I'm coming around on liberal piss water, to be honest. Like I be quite honest. I've seen some attractive liberal women, and I kind of think, yeah, let's see where their piss water comes from. And
Triple filtered, hopefully.
exactly. It's good to be live here on BoxOfDogs. We're live now. Been going for a minute 50. Cool. Oh, I'm sorry, but on the other hand, I just felt like I needed to go live. I've thrown out the link to the others if they want to come in. They probably won't. What we were talking about? We were talking about the thing. The thing about the world keeps revolving. The world keeps it creates this confusing space. Like no matter when you walk in, you're going to be confused. No one's really going to be able to tell you what's going on in the world. I think that's the goal of the globalists, is to create a world where you can't tell what's going on when you come into it. You cannot grasp any kind of meaning. And I think it will make people like insane. Being able having nothing to hold on to, and coming into a world where there is nothing, and it's nothing you can grip mentally, spiritually, and physically. Forget about it. It's like it's going to be online. Like to me, the future is a fucking like it's a sterile hellscape in a fucking fantasy. A sterile fantasy hellscape. That's what the future seems to be, according to Mark Zuckerberg. But who fucking gives a fuck about that motherfucker? I mean, he wants us to all wear helmets and be like, hey, I mean, he's the weird kid at school or at parties that you're just like, no one listen to him. He's an idiot. It's like, no one paid attention to these people. And how did this happen? Anyway, what do you say, Tom?
Well, I think a great example, the first thing that pops into my mind is the movie Ready Player One.
I've not seen it.
I would highly recommend anybody that's interested in this topic at all to watch that movie. As we've talked before, and many other people have said before, the idea of predictive programming. They tell us through music, they tell us through TV shows, through all sorts of media, what's going to happen beforehand. Because if it's slowly drip fed to us over time,
we accept it. Yeah.
So basically, in Ready Player One, the idea that is that it's a pretty dystopian sort of future, and the actual reality, it's quite miserable. The main character lives in, you know, what looks like slums,
Okay.
and he puts on a VR headset,
Yeah.
and the VR headset is a much more desirable place to be than the real world.
Okay.
You can change your character. You can, you know, go into different rooms, play different games or activities.
Yeah.
And, you know, that they really sell this idea that this is the place to be rather than reality.
Well, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Like if you can go into a room and play Pong, just like bam, 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 all day. Oh, that's me gone.
Yep.
That's me. Yep.
And the other interesting thing that that really struck out to me with the movie was that, you know, you could choose your avatar, so you
Yeah.
could be any sort of character.
Mm.
You know, you can make yourself tall, you can make yourself muscular, you can make yourself look beautiful, athletic, you name it.
Yeah.
And
And
you
why
know,
would you make yourself tall, muscular, and attractive? I mean, why? What a
yeah, who
waste of
wouldn't choose that,
time.
eh?
I mean, yeah. Why would anyone? I mean, I'm used to that.
Yeah. But
That's
you
just
know,
real life for me.
as we were saying before, you know, I believe we all need to start, in a way, treating life like a video game, like Mr. Andrew Tate said himself. I thought he said it very well. We should all start treating life like a video game. Do up your own character here in the real world. Acquire skills that'll take you far in this realm, in this life. You know, build your own body up. Get your own skills. Be smart. Be charismatic. You know, that part of his message I agree with, but yeah, the rest of it, that's another topic.
That sounds tight, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. We probably
Yeah, but
shouldn't go on.
go on. No, you go.
No,
You
no.
go.
No, please, you go. All I was going to say is we probably shouldn't be live streaming this garbage. Because I had all these ideas before. However, I don't know if I've introduced you to the queen of conspiracies. Like,
Oh, you've
she's
briefly mentioned her.
well, I like so this is
Here we go.
right. Because I commented fart carbuncle on something. It was a farting machine. That's right. It says fart carbuncle. I'm on the sides of the kids. Fart carbuncle. Chief Sands. Chief Sands. Now I love to. Okay, today is Grok talk on Chief Sands. Julian Assange, proof of life. She goes on, she asks Grok about herself and about Julian Assange and the theory. She has a theory that the, WikiLeaks. Let's just bring this. WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
To believe. What do you know about it? Like, what do you believe it is? What is it?
I could only talk on a very, very bare surface level, but I do believe that a bunch of documents and video footage was released of war crimes.
Okay, so it was presented as a front for whistleblowers to go to and blow the whistle.
Yeah.
The problem is all the whistleblowers that went to WikiLeaks ended up getting busted.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Now, I got to say, I don't know if it was all. That is a big claim, and it's more than likely wrong. I doubt that it's all. But it just seems that there were a lot of people who said things to WikiLeaks, and all of a sudden they had the government all over them. And so
Right.
there is a theory that WikiLeaks was in fact a whistleblower honeypot run by the CIA. And that Julian Assange basically was raised in a cult, and he ended up working for these people, and like it's kind of part of the CIA and all these other major players. But he actually turned against them. He got some information and he got pissed off, and he went, you know what, I'm not playing your game anymore. And he released this information from because it's very weird. It's also very weird the way Chelsea Manning is free now. But for the information that Chelsea Manning released, and it was that came from Chelsea Manning. It was proven, but they're still charging Julian Assange. They're still like, no, we still want you though. Like, there's something very suspicious and something very personal about it. It's
Okay.
So, but that's the theory. What do you think of that theory? What do you?
Well, the first thing that pops into my head is the idea of are you familiar with 1984, George Orwell?
Yeah.
So it sounds very similar to what you were saying. So the idea of what's the opposition's name? I think Goldstein.
Okay.
So he was betrayed to the people as like an enemy.
All right.
So the idea, I believe the main character's name is it Winston, maybe.
Mhm.
Anyway, so the main character believes that he's with a secret group that it's trying to help this Goldstein character.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Goldstein was controlled opposition all along.
Yeah.
And the same idea as what you're saying, it was a trap. It was a way of setting up a person that people could go to for help, you know, to fight against the enemy. And it was a way of catching people that weren't going along.
Yep.
So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. That's very well possible, because these people who are running the show, they're not stupid. They know that people are going to go against them eventually.
So there's some people that say they are stupid. There's kind of arguments to go both ways, but I don't know. I don't.
There's one thing that we know for sure. Like, imagine how smart their think tanks are.
But that's the thing. It's
Yep.
Yeah. No, they don't fuck around.
No.
But yeah.
They recruit the best of the best of the best. Like, you know, Will Smith said in Men in Black.
But that's the thing. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? Like, if you had...
Absolutely, you would.
I don't know. How do you justify that, though? What if you had all the money in the world? What would you do? Like, what does that mean? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? What would it mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is one thing that I will respect again about Andrew Tate. I thought he put it pretty well, is that you'll get to a point where you'll have so much money. There's only so many Ferraris you can buy, so many mansions you can buy, so many yachts you can buy. So that eventually just becomes like nothing. You go, well, what's a Ferrari to me? Nothing. So what's the next thing that's going to excite them and get them off? Right? It's power and it's control. I mean, that's boring. They already can own anything. Within 24 hours, it'll be on their doorstep, and that's not good enough anymore. So they have to go to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But I guess if you're like, if it was the difference between deliver me 20 hookers naked from the waist up to my house, boom, or it was like kill half of Ecuador. I mean, which would make you come harder? I guess. I don't know what the answer is to these things. I mean, they're morally repugnant questions. I just don't know which.
Well, I mean, I thought that was a pretty good example, though, because you think about it like this: to the average man, one hooker would be enough.
You would think.
You would think, yes. You would think. But if you're already at the stage, like, you got to get 20 hookers, you go, well, how much have you been desensitized?
Exactly.
That you need that extreme measures to excite you or to get you off or to give you some sort of a purpose, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Check this out.
All right.
This chick, that intelligence enforcement systems. There's 37 different spy agencies in Washington, D.C. Nobody knows who. CIA says I'm CIA, but I was never CIA. Homeland Security said I'm one of them, but I was never one of them. I'm a London State, Scotland Yard, and DC capital. Yeah, so that's her credentials, I guess. She's an interesting. She sent me a video of Jackie shooting JFK in the head and then dumping the pistol. Like, I gotta say, it went over it a few times, and yeah, it's
well, a book that I highly recommend everybody to read.
Yeah,
is I believe it's called 63 Reasons JFK was assassinated by Jesse Ventura.
Okay.
But I can only remember a few things from that book, but the amount of stuff that's in there that a lot of people would not know is just mind-blowing and astonishing. So I'll give you two very quick examples.
Yeah.
So one, the person who was physically closest to the killer shot, he was never brought in for an interview by anyone.
Dan
yes, g'day, Dan. Shout out to you, Dan.
Back again. It's not. I think they did the same thing with tattoos. They did it with convincing females to go by utes. So many other examples.
So the person that was physically closest to the shot was not brought in for questioning. Now, that to me is outrageous because he's the closest witness. That's insanity. So then the other ones that really stick out to me, the illegal, and I literally do mean illegal, seizure of his body from the hospital. So what usually happens when there's a crime like murder, homicide is committed?
Are you talking about JFK?
Yeah, JFK.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The body has to be taken to the closest physical hospital.
Yeah.
And reports need to be done there.
Yeah.
So I can't remember who it was, whether it was CIA, FBI. At gunpoint, they seized his body.
Yeah.
So they forced staff to step aside, and they took the body with them. That is illegal. It falls under the jurisdiction of the local hospital.
Yeah, if they declared it an act of war, if the president got shot and they went, this is an act of war, the army were then charged to step in. It's what they did on 9/11. On 9/11, 2001, when those fucking planes hit, you know how long it was after that fucking Bush came out and said this is an act of war? That's illegal. That was a legal term. It meant FBI hands off.
Yeah.
Fucking Homeland Security hands off. This is military. Military will investigate it and military will respond. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's what they did.
Yep.
Which I find fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, a great way to know that something is going on is when procedures are fucked with.
Yeah.
So two other examples of JFK. One, now the car that he was in, technically speaking, that is a crime scene.
Yeah.
The very next, I believe it was the very next day, it was taken to a certain restoration facility. So the vehicle wasn't properly investigated. So again, that's a breach of procedure.
Well, you want to get it fucking hosed out and on eBay as quickly as you can, really. Like, you want to get that shit. You want to be like, hose that shit out and get it on eBay.
Yeah,
fucking straight up. To put $30,000 on it. Someone will pay for it one day. Someone will pay it one day. Just fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
So I get that, but fuck.
And then one last point.
Yeah.
The motorcade.
Yeah.
And the formation of the motorcade. So this little tour that he was embarking on, the motorcade was set up at the front and the back in a very particular way. The only time it changed was in Dallas. And the formation made it so that there was an open shot. Yeah. So the way that the motorcade was set up in the front and the back, was it so that particular shots for a gunman were not available to him because there'd always be somebody in the way.
Okay.
So that procedure was changed only for Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know it was Jewish groups that were responsible for bringing him in, and it was Jewish groups that were responsible for planning the route and like all of this stuff all through? It was Jewish groups, and he had a gripe with Ben Gurion or some shit, or they because he showed Israel, because he'd shown disrespect to Israel. Like he'd kind of clowned on Ben Gurion, who's like the founder of Israel.
Right.
And he's like, he's the first prime minister of Israel or whatever the fuck. So he's like, he insulted him, and so they were like, Mossad wanted to take him out. And there's all these ways. So Mossad were involved in that. And when they called October 7 their 9/11, did you find that odd? Did you find it odd? Yeah. It's the same. It's the same people
fucked with.
It's the same. It's the same people running the same playbooks, doing the same things, getting away with the same shit. So it was like that was fucking to me. That was just like, you cheeky motherfuckers. Like, how do you do that and you're okay? You know, like, just you're okay with that. Yeah, all right, whatever.
Well, I mean, with whatever sort of scenario happens, I guess the only way that they would probably that they might be able to cope with it, because they're not physically there on the ground, they're not taking on that trauma. So maybe in a way that they're blocking it out because they don't have to see it and go, well, what we don't see doesn't bother us. Because there's certain things that some people might gain from particular scenarios, but if they're not physically there to see the repercussions, it wouldn't bother them, because there's no human being, for example, like, I mean, even the Nazis in the camps, I'm not convinced that even people who are, following orders afterwards, even the ones that got away and survived, they would not have been able to live a happy life. They would have been traumatized of the shit that they done in one way or another eventually.
Yeah, and they would have experienced peak happiness. Like when they were a Nazi in full power, it would have been like, this is as happy as I will ever be as a human being. I can never be happier than this. And then the Nazis lost power, and they're like, fucking.
But like, just to be so, I mean, from a psychological aspect, like
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like there's no way that they would be able to sleep at night knowing what they did.
But which aspect are you talking about here? Are you talking about like
guilt?
See, yeah, but which, like, there will be German soldiers out there who should be able to sleep soundly every night of the guys that fought in. They should, die a peaceful, natural death. They fought in World War II on the side of Germany or whatever. And they did nothing wrong.
Or at least they
just
thought they weren't doing anything
well,
wrong.
Or they thought they were doing nothing wrong. That whatever, but it's history's retold to us in such a fucked up way.
Yep.
But there's plenty of people involved in that shit that they possibly all they did was like fucking. They were told to pick up a gun, they picked up a gun. They were told to put down the gun, they put down the gun. Like,
yeah, I hear. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
but also there's people that were in there that fucking dug it. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is,
yeah. Well, people only know what they're told, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of people just do not know
what you're told and what you figure out. Yeah, like yeah. That's the whole thing. You're thrown into this fucking this fucking ball of sensations, and you just like figure it out. And there's people yelling at you, "No, don't shit on the rug," and you're like, "Well, fucking, you could have told me that before I shit on the rug,"
Yeah,
like
exactly. Well,
like
that's the nature of propaganda too, isn't it?
Well, exactly. Yeah, and the fucking plane flies over and it's dragging a message: "Don't shit on the rug." It's bullshit. You can't believe any of it. So I shit on the rug on purpose now. Purposely, myself.
Yep. No, well, that's that's the nature of everything, isn't it? Especially war. And in particular, to what you're saying, Hitler managed to convince the people that what they were doing was right, and that's all they knew, because that was probably the only information that they were receiving due to censorship.
But if you ever notice how, like, when all these people, and it comes out, and they're like, "Oh, this guy was a dictator, and that guy was a dictator," and you go, "Oh, fuck, that sounds terrible. What did they do?" And they're like, "Oh, they were like, fuck, for example, if you had a kid, that was 25% off your taxes. If you had 2 kids, 50% off your taxes. Fucking, if you had 4 kids, fucking, you never paid taxes. Wow, what a bastard. What an absolute prick. Oh, fuck, that's horrible. What else did he do? Oh, created jobs. Fucking basically restored pride in the German way of life.
Yeah. That was one thing I do remember learning in history at school. That they said that he basically kick-started their economy again. That all the factories opened up, like car manufacturing in particular. Was it? I believe was it BMW that came out of Germany.
Volkswagen. BMW did come out of Germany, but Volkswagen was the one that he was like. Volkswagen is the people's wagon.
Yeah.
I drove a Volkswagen.
Oh, there you go.
I was driving it the other day. I put on. I tried out the onboard navigation. I was like, I just put in Ferntree Gully, just like take me home.
Yep.
You go, and it goes at the next roundabout, invade Poland. And I was like, oh, fucking not doing that. Not doing it. And I was like, yo, you fucking pussy, come on. And I was like, no.
You driving home in your anti-Semite vehicle.
Yeah. And it was just like, come on. You know, you want to. And I was like, it's not a matter. It's not a question of want to.
Yeah, no, well that's. I think going back to the core of what you're saying, I definitely hear what you mean. Like, we only think a certain way about historical events or people because that's what we're told.
Yeah. The world is designed to trick young people because if you're most impressionable when you're young, the world exists to attack the most impressionable, and that's children and women. And the world, like the Hollywood and television and all that shit. First thing, it comes, just fucking because if you can control those things, you can it's fucked up.
You control the future generations.
Yeah, well, if you control, like, I mean, if you could control, like, I'm part of this live stream actually is for me to announce that I am what is this? It's update Sexual Revolution, King of Australia. Sexual Revolution, we're going to basically piss on that shit because fuck those motherfuckers because they fucked everything up for us. I don't mind. It's, you know, we've got a lot of sex, but aside from getting all the sex, fuck you, you fucking Jesus, you fucking I said in the last podcast, it was like they said they fucking like there's all these kids over fighting in Vietnam, and they released this song that goes, "If you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with." Basically saying, hey, your girlfriend's back home, and we're just telling her, yeah, you can't be with your boyfriend, so fuck this guy instead. It's just demoralizing these people. Like, fucking, what am I fighting for?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they're demoralized from within from that generation. And, from that generation on, it's been a fucking absolute shit show. And it really had, like, when people talk about the worst generation and all that, it's hard to argue with baby boomers just being like, yeah, they're fucking just the worst. I was gonna here's something I want to ask you something. Was the sense of or the notion of self-love, was that something that was foreign to you when you were a kid, or was it something that was like that it was familiar to you? Self-love, like not masturbation, not jerking off. I mean, just like valuing yourself as a human being. You know what I mean?
Would you say like self-respect or self-worth?
self-respect, self-worth, valuing is
Foreign.
figuring that,
Foreign.
I have
Foreign. Completely foreign.
completely foreign. Really?
Yep.
Fuck me.
Throughout quite a lot of my life, I really suffered from a lack of self-worth and self-respect.
Mm.
And yeah, I truly don't believe that these values were really being taught. It was more about pretty much like what we've said previously about the education system. It's about distraction and being somewhere at a certain time when the bell goes off, doing what
Yeah.
you're told, and don't step out of line.
Yeah.
Putting you in a box.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Yep.
I think that's an excellent description. As King of Australia, my decree is that this weekend everyone gets a dog up them. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
going back,
Go on.
going back to, and I do believe that in a way, a lot of these problems do stem back to the sexual revolution.
Oh man, fucking yeah. No, the sexual revolution is like. Go on. What were you saying?
Yeah. So we look at what what the sexual revolution was basically. We'll take what has happened over millions upon millions of years, however long that human beings have been on this earth.
A
We'll
long
take
time.
what worked and what is our nature, and we'll just tip it upside down and we'll invert it to set everyone free. And as we were saying before, well, the freedom to do something is not necessarily a good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're totally free to what you want to do, but there are consequences. There's pros and cons to absolutely everything. And I firmly do believe that, that the answer is usually somewhere in the middle. So having said that, I certainly don't believe in not ever having sex, but I certainly don't believe in men or women sleeping with someone new every day. That balance, the yin and yang, the chaos and order, it's somewhere in the middle.
See, on the other hand, I kind of think this is where I have to come in and advocate rape, because you're like, you should have sex, you shouldn't have sex, but what if she doesn't want to have sex with you? You're out of options unless you go to. Now, I'm not advocating, right? I'm saying you shouldn't do it, but you should know that it is an option. But just don't do it. I'm just saying it is an option, but don't do it. It's
Don't. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to add, I was like,
yeah.
I don't know why, but I don't know why I had to add that.
Because as I've told you previously, like I truly value and cherish what I have with my wife. Having been with her almost for half my entire life, I would not trade that in ever. For 1,000 different women to sleep with, I would not trade it for a single second. What I truly believe I have is something that's more than just as what people say these days. What is it? Pump and dump. There's nothing in that. There's no value in that to me.
That's a crypto term.
Yeah, it is too, isn't it? Yeah. And that's the people that want to do it, but I personally do not see any value in that.
Well, if you're in charge of the pump and dump, if you've got enough pump to make the dump worthwhile, like if I can come in on Bitcoin at 100K each, and I can buy enough to drive the price up to 110, and then I sell them at 110, haven't I just made 10 profit over like many coins? Haven't I just made millions? Like, isn't that what they do? Isn't that how that works?
Well, they call it whaling as well, don't they? I think.
Yeah. Like they just drop their big dick in and just like lump. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway.
You've never invested, have you?
In crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was up to like about $20,000 with my crypto at once, like right before it crashed. I was up at like $20,000, and I was like, I'm loving this because like all my investments are like 2x, 3x, and 4x. So I was like, fucking, this is great. And then it just the ass fell out of it, and I was like,
yep.
I just watched it fall away, and I just kept thinking, no, this can't be. This can't be. Yeah. Anyway, over that time as well, I had to sell it to move, and I had to sell. Like, I just had to keep fucking emptying it out anyway. So yeah, it was kind of a bit of a shit, but yeah.
So what's your thoughts on
crypto's heartbreaking? Hey.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It is very heartbreaking.
Crypto's heartbreaking, but if I had money now, I would still buy Bitcoin. I would buy Bitcoin now.
Okay.
Yeah, I would buy it because I think 100 is the new platform, and it's only going to go up from there.
I did hear a story a while back of some lucky SOB that bought like 10 Bitcoin or something like that when it first started, and he forgot about it for ages. And then he randomly once heard about it in the news that it was going up, and he went, oh, I'm pretty sure I've got something invested in there.
Yeah.
And when he went to go check, it was like tens of millions of dollars worth.
Fuck. Yeah.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Well, there was a guy who paid 100 Bitcoin for a pizza or something like that.
Whoa.
Right. So they're like, and they talk to him, they're like, hey, how do you feel? But the thing is, when I first came across Bitcoin, it was 2 cents each. 2 cents a coin. That was it. And the next time I saw it, it was 20 cents a coin. And I went, holy fuck, what a fucking return. That's gone from 2 cents to 20 cents. You got to get on that. But it was just, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But anyone that got on it and like saved it to zip drive or whatever the fuck they did with it.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Good on them.
Fucking, yeah. You're set.
Yep.
And imagine if you bought like 1,000 of if you just gone, Bitcoin, 2 cents each. Yeah, I'll give me $1,000 worth of them. And you just went and chucked them. And you had like fucking however many thousands, you had 100,000 of them sitting there. Fuck, unbelievable, man.
Wow, I mean, you think about, like, for instance, people who kept, like, the first issue ever of Superman that was made in like 1932 or something like that. And I think Nicolas Cage bought one a few years ago for like $3 million.
Mm.
So imagine if you know, somebody, probably some grandpa out there,
Yeah.
probably bought one and has kept it in mint condition, and they don't know what they're sitting on.
Yeah.
You know, if only we could, if only we could get our hands on a sports almanac.
Exactly. That's what we. That's what haven't I been saying that from the beginning? We need a sports almanac.
Yeah, we do. We do need a sports almanac.
Pretty sure I've been. I got to get that light just right. I got to get that little fucking. It was red before. It was cool. It was red. But anyway. Fuck it. It looks like the ISR or something. Anyway. What the?
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on the sexual revolution, Scott? Let's see your view.
I just think it's interesting. It goes back to the French Revolution, actually.
Karl Marx.
It's interesting. No. Karl Marx is after these cunts. But I mean, he's around. I don't know. Was he around then, or I know there was some. But the one impacted the other or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how the good this rendition of history is going to be. If you're listening, that's how accurate this is all going to be. So Fred Flintstone comes along, and he's like, Wilma, and they started because. I mean, I don't know. Societies function because they function, and if they function for a long time, they function for a reason. So when people get all pissed off and they have reasons, and generally speaking, those reasons tend to come from a particular group of people. That it's just like there's just a particular group of people that are always like, this is no good.
They believe that the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah, or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting though, isn't it? Because they don't know why society works the way it works, because they haven't been through the lessons that got to where society got there. So hence, like what we were saying before, that's why the pendulum constantly swings throughout history. Because when you get a few certain generations that start to become like either, pissed off or entitled, well, they don't understand history and how things got to where they got.
Yeah.
And then they try go the other way, not knowing what happens. And when they get it, they go, oh, fuck, we never intended this to happen. Hence the old saying, all roads to hell start with good intentions. And that's so true.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't like, you can't. I probably can't say that, but you can't fucking. Oh fuck! No,
I've got a good one for you.
Go on.
You can't knock down the fence if you didn't know how and why it was built in the first place.
There you
there
go.
for a reason.
There you go. That's clear as day. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't. I quite like smoking weed. Actually, it's not bad. It's all right. But anyway, this is probably the worst. This is probably the worst live anyone's ever done. This is like the most uninteresting. Is there anything going on in the world that you're like, we should just end this, huh?
Oh, if you're not feeling it, we can end it.
Hang on.
Totally up to you.